Good afternoon, and this video is kind of the hardest video to do because you know so much about this guy. To only have 5 ups and 1 down is a little bit difficult, but here we go. 5 big stars and 1 big down on how Joseph Jolton Joe Biden should be the Democratic nominee. Like and subscribe, hate and comment. So who's Joe Biden? Well, who isn't he? He's been an elected senator when he was 29 years old. Don't worry, he didn't serve until he was 30. He, of course, was the 47th Vice President of the United States. He served in the Senate for like 40 years. He's from Delaware. He is described as Pennsylvania's 3rd senator for most of his term. He, of course, is married, had 4 children. 2 of which have preceded him. One, of course, with the accident that killed his wife. And he also lost his son, Beau, a few years ago to cancer. He is described as one of the more moderate senators or Democrats. And he's been around for, like I said, ever. Which brings me to the first point: who is more qualified than the former vice president? Like, seriously. I can't think of anybody. I mean, literally, I think he's been in government since Moby Dick was a minnow. And before he was a senator, he was a defense attorney, not even a prosecutor. He was on the defense, right? So you can't get more Democratic cred than a guy defending the guy against big government from some, dime bag of weed. And yes, he is the 3rd senator from Pennsylvania. And that's very important, not only because he was born in Scranton, but because 2 of the 3 counties in Delaware get their TV market from Philly, which means when you need to get to 270, when you need to cobble that number, a guy who's literally been on TV for 50 years in Philly is very important. And whoever wins Bucks County is probably going to decide the election. That's suburban Philly. And who better than the man who's been on TV since I think people were still walking on the moon. He's also Obama's 3rd term. Now, it's a little bit muted when it's 4 years after the president's been out of office. But, hey, worked for Bush 41. If Gore would have had the gazungas to actually run on Clinton's record instead of picking a vice president who didn't like that Bill Clinton got a want. Maybe we would have President Gore instead of President W. After Obama, right, is one of the most popular Democrats that are out there. And Obama has been the most popular Democrat and most admired man for like a decade. He's also WYSIWYG. For us computer nerds out there, what you see is what you get. Let's face it, he is a career politician. But it's the least career politician you can be. He tells it like it is, right? He's, like that's malarkey. He's kind of like, John McCain-ish, right? It's really weird that you get a politician who's be like, yep, this is what you get. You're getting Joe Biden. You know what you're getting. It's a little bit kooky. It's a little bit nuts, but it's right there. Oh man, does he have a story, right? Yeah, it meanders. Yeah, sometimes this old man, maybe sometimes you're like, maybe we don't talk about this, a little out of date. But man, he can tell a story. He can shut up a heckler like that because you have to listen to him, right? He can say, my son died, and you got to pay attention. He can say, my wife died in a car accident. I lost my daughter. He can articulate that. He has had pain. He has had stories. He's had personal stuff that's been going on for 50 years. But you know what the biggest drawback is? I gave you like a ton of stuff there, and I broke it up into 5 categories. All of those positives are also negatives, right? He's a great storyteller, but man, does he rub some people the wrong way? Literally. The whole school busing question could have ripped a hole into the African-American support that he has. Yes, he's running on Obama's 3rd term. And African-Americans voters, yeah, they showed up for Clinton's reelection and Obama's reelection and for the upset in Alabama, right, for the Senate seat there. And if he can get that support, it'll be unstoppable. But you got progressives right now who are running the primary right now who want to dismantle Obamacare, who want to dismantle Obama's legacy. So can you keep that 15% from staying with you? Because remember, something of about 20% of Bernie Sanders' primary voters didn't vote for the Democratic nominee in 2016. Almost half of that 20 voted for President Trump. So are they going to spite their face and vote for the Trumpster again? And yeah, he knows Philly better than most, but he can't break win in Iowa. He might win the caucus. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going to be Bernie Sanders or Pete Buttigieg. He might win New Hampshire, though I know Sanders' support's gone down and Buttigieg has gone up. But what does that say when he has trouble in these swing states? And let's nobody forget. Yeah, Democrats may complain, oh, they're too white, they're too rural. Guess what? Iowa, the last 12 presidential elections, 6 have gone Republican, 6 have gone Democrat. And in New Hampshire, while the Democrats have done better than the Republicans, they still lost in 2000. Last election, I think Hillary won it by a couple thousand votes. These are swing states, and Biden has problems. And yeah, he is definitely perceived as WYSIWYG. But you know who else is? Donald friggin' Trump. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. A lot of people think that Donald Trump is what you see is what you get. Yeah. Are you going to out-Trump Trump? And yes, he is the most qualified. That didn't mean jack 4 years ago. He's also older than Trump. And when he has a senior moment, he has a senior moment because even the left calls him out for it. Now, do you want to switch captains for an even older captain? I don't know. In the battle of sexagenarians, will Biden enthrall the younger voters to get out there and vote for Grandpa? I think he can beat Trump. But I think it's a 50-50 proposition. So I've rated, I think I've rated all 5 Democrats at this point. I would say that there's a 100% chance if Amy Klobuchar was a nominee, she would win. There's a 0% chance if it was Bernie Sanders. I give Biden a solid 50-50. I think he's got a better chance than Elizabeth Warren, which is like maybe 40, and a worse chance than Mayor Pete at about 55. So those are your 5 candidates. Best of luck, Democrats. I do mean that. I'm not even joking. I want you guys to pick your best candidate. Okay. I think Donald Trump is ultimately going to win the election, and but I could be wrong. And if we are going to lose, which I don't think Republicans are going to lose, then I want to give you the opportunity to think of who your best candidate is. So I've given you who your 5 are. And again, like and subscribe, hate and comment. If something drastically changes and Stoyer or Mayor Bloomberg or some other candidate comes out there, who knows? Maybe there's an outside shot that in South Carolina, Tulsi Gabbard wins the primary. Then I'll do a video on her. Alrighty. So like and subscribe, hate and comment. And we'll see you next time.